I'd like to take a moment to give you some tips on how you can take gorgeous, detailed, beautiful pictures of figures that you're going to use for animation. I'm going to talk about stop motion in another video, but I'm just talking about taking the pictures right now. And I'm going to show you how you can do this in a way that's both inexpensive and easy. Now, what I've got here illuminating this scene is one light, okay? And that light is shooting directly into the ceiling and then bouncing back into this environment, creating really soft light. The reason I want really soft light is because these figures tend to have a lot of reflective surfaces. And if you get a reflection on them, it's very difficult to remove and it can be very distracting. The structure you see behind me is very simple, and right here this is foam board that you could use a trifold. If you're a teacher, you probably have lots of those. This particular piece here is what I call waffle board. It's a plastic sheet. It looks like it's made of corrugated cardboard, but it's made of plastic. And the wonderful thing about that, it's very durable. You can use it over and over. You don't need, so this simple setup here will give you a really nice soft light. There's going to be a little bit of light coming through here that's going to illuminate his face just a little bit on one side to give it a little bit of drama. And the camera here doesn't have to be expensive in order to get great images. You don't need an expensive lens. The trick is you want to set the aperture between f8 and f10, somewhere in that range. Inexpensive cameras tend to be sharpest in this range. And the other benefit of this is you get a deep depth of field. That means that the forward surfaces of your figure are perfectly in focus, and so are the back surfaces of your figure. So everything in the figure is totally in focus. So when you're using Photoshop to cut that figure out of the background, it's going to be dead easy. If you're using a shallow depth of field, you'll have soft edges. That'll make your job very difficult. The other thing that I've got here is my figure is first off on a base plate, then on a smaller brick on top of that. The reason is I want to be able to see the whole figure, including their feet. And I don't want anything obstructing it, nothing that I'm going to have to cut out and paste to fix it up. I've got the camera shooting directly into the face of the figurine, so I have the most flexibility to animate it in post. I've got it set to aperture priority. Now, the problem with aperture priority is that because of all the white I have in this background, it's likely to underexpose my figure. So I can either use exposure compensation or switch to manual, okay? In any case, lock down your aperture and then adjust your shutter speed to get the proper exposure. ISO is not going to be a big problem in this kind of situation. Most cameras will shoot well at 800 ISO, and if you don't know what to set it at, I'm going to suggest 800. Now, the other thing I'm going to ask you to do here is set your camera so that it is running on a timer. This is because when you go to press your shutter, you may inadvertently cause a little bit of shake. and we want this picture to be as sharp as possible. So with a 2-second delay, and I'm just going to press it here now, my hand is completely free. There is no chance of any vibration damaging my photo. Of course, you got to shoot with a tripod. So I hope that helps. Here's a look at the figure as I've taken it with this camera. So you can see that it's got lots of good detail. You don't have to worry about if any of this background is overexposed. What you care about is the exposure and the focus on your actual figure.